Three. All right, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah, barakatuh, alhamdulillah. All right, guys, we're going to be talking about the Apostate Prophet channel. I think I'm saying that correctly, but
Up,
supposedly you got 10 facts about Prophet Muhammad,
10
and
lies. You think 10 lies
yes,
about Prophet Muhammad.
so
Good.
we're going to debunk all that.
Yes, inshallah. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters in Islam, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace and blessing of Allah be upon you, brother and sister in Islam. And we welcome any non-Muslim who is watching us now. We're going to review a video was produced by a guy, and he claims that he stating facts about Prophet Muhammad. Obviously, there are 10 lies and more, and we're going to go through them, inshallah, with Allah help and blessing. So let's see here. Okay, so okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All right, I'm going to share. We'll take one point and respond to it, and then the another. All right, the other we'll take the okay bit by bit. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Hi everybody and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. There are a lot of...
Before we start, he's calling himself the Apostate Prophet, Murtad. All right, the Apostate means Murtad, means he left Islam. Okay, and before we listen to him, we need to know who is he first. Okay, so I'm going to share this part. I'm not sure. Can you see this one?
No.
Okay. So, all right. So let's, okay, let me stop sharing and reshare again, right? So we know what we'll be talking about first. Okay. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the Apostate Prophet that we're going to listen to. So, yeah, this is his post. He made a post. His name is Ridvan Idmire or Idmire or whatever. Okay. And he called himself Apostate Prophet. Apostate means Murtad. Yeah. All right. So here is what we're going to listen to. This is the type of person we're going to listen to. He's saying, for 10 years, I was an atheist, an agnostic. Two in the same time. Atheist and agnostic. It goes to show how much of delusions this guy lives in. So atheist and agnostic. Atheist means someone believes there is no God, zero God. Agnostic, someone is suspicious and has suspicions about the existence of God. He's on the fence. He doesn't believe in religion and doesn't believe in the not sure. He's on the fence, right? So this is agnostic, on the fence. So he was saying he was atheist and agnostic, both in the same time. Okay? So let's go with atheist, all right, with his first word. For 2 years, now he's keep going. For 2 years, I have been searching. Yeah, he's been searching, right? And what happened? He said, today, I have been accepted as Katie Chum man. Yeah, Kate Chum man. Okay, basically, someone is in ketchup man. Someone is not ketchup. Okay, not ketchup. You put on the chips. It means that he is about to be baptized, right? In the Orthodox Church, yeah, Christian. On my way to becoming a baptized Christian. So he went from 0 God to 3 gods. Yeah. So Christians say, oh no, it's just 1 God. Oh no, 3. You have 3. You have 3 persons in the Trinity. Yeah. And amazingly, he chose to be Orthodox Church. Orthodox Church, they have icons, as you can see behind him now in the photo, right? He's a Turkish guy originally, a Turkish guy. and he moved to the United States. So he never ever he saying that he was atheist from 0 God to 3 gods. Okay, amazing. And he start to venerate icons, idols, statues that leaking oil, amazingly. Yeah. And now he started to believe in Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And this is the story we know. Okay. The story we know. 3 people. God sent himself as a prophet and was killed by his creation and dead and buried and yeah. And weak God who was tempted by Satan and rest of it. So from 0 God to 3 gods. Yeah. Or some Christian might argue and say, oh, not 3 gods. Well, there are 3 because you have 3. There are 3 in nature. Triune God. Triune God is 3 persons. Okay. But they share the same nature. Well, no, they don't, because they have conflicts. One worshiping another. Jesus worshiping the Father. Huh? Worshipping the Father. And who created Jesus? Are they equal? Are the 3 parts of the Trinity are equal in knowledge? No, they're not. Because Jesus, in one of the what's attributed to him in the Bible, nobody knew about the hour, not even the Son. So the 3 parts of the Trinity not equal in knowledge about the hour. So yeah, so this is the type of guy we're going to listen to, right? Okay, so let's go. Yeah, so he's now from 0 God to 3 God. So now, can you see the video, brother? Probably no. Let me share it again.
Not yet.
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, no worries. Let's start. So this is a guy we're going to listen to from 0 God to 3 gods.
Videos and articles out there which give you certain facts about Muhammad and tell you who Muhammad was. Unfortunately, those videos and articles, those lists, are usually very one-sided. Therefore, I have decided to sit down and to make a video in which I want to show you the other side. And today, I want to list and share at least 10 things that everybody should know about Muhammad. Let's start right away.
So he decided to sit down and twist the Islamic scriptures, and the Prophet and his companions, they never ever understood that way. But let's listen to what he's saying. So first lie, okay.
Number 10. Muhammad is not the God of Islam, but he is definitely a sex god.
Okay, so we'll stop here. So he's saying definitely. Let's play it again.
Start right away to make a video in which I want to show you the other side. And today I want to list and share at least 10 things that everybody should know about Muhammad. Let's start right away. Number 10. Muhammad is not the God of Islam, but
I will stop here. First of all, he said Muhammad is not the God of Islam. At least it's a good thing, positive thing to admit that. Well, his mate, his friend, Sam Shamoun, has been lying so much on YouTube and social media and saying that Muslims worship Prophet Muhammad. Which one is it? This guy now admitting that Prophet Muhammad is not God. The other guy saying Prophet Muhammad is God and Muslims worship him. So Christian missionaries here, they are full of it. They contradict each other. They lie and they don't come together to make a unified lie. You better come together, guys, and make a one unified lie rather than lie on each one on their own. Because when you guys lie individually, solely, each one of you lie, you actually refute each other, which is good for us. So when you lie, Sam Shamoun say, Muslims worship Prophet Muhammad and they worship black stone and worship moon god and worship. You're actually refuting yourself when you lie many times about the same topic. You refute yourself. And his guy here now saying, Prophet Muslim don't worship Prophet Muhammad. That's good. So he's saying now, admitting that Prophet Muhammad is not God. That's a good start. Okay. Let's listen.
He is definitely a sex god. Okay, not really a sex god, more like a sex enthusiast.
He just now, he said his sex god, his sex enthusiast. He's addict. So which one is it? Which one is it? Yeah? Six God? Oh, no, six addict. Okay, let's listen.
Or a sex addict, I don't know. According to the
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So let's listen to this again.
start right away. Number 10. Muhammad is not the god of Islam, but he is definitely a sex god. Okay, not really a sex god, more like a sex enthusiast or a sex addict. I don't know. According to the most authentic reports, Muhammad had 9 or 11 wives at once. The Quran itself says that you may marry the women that you like, 2, 3, or 4, but Muhammad had much more than 4, because the Quran gives special privileges to Muhammad, such as that women could simply give themselves to him and he could marry them. Even his wife Aisha commented that she does not understand how women can just give themselves to him, and that Allah seems to care a lot about Muhammad's convenience and desires. His first marriage was to a woman who was...
All right. So here we go with the verse. Is talking about that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had privileges, multiple wives, had multiple wives. 11 wives at some point. Right. Well, remember he just converted to Orthodox Christianity. Let's hear. I recorded here somewhere, brother. That, let me stop sharing here and get back to him here. Let me write down. Look for something here. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So since he converted to Orthodox Christianity, so we are talking about the Bible now. So his accusation is that Prophet Muhammad had multiple wives and privileges. Well, this guy is ignorant because in his own false religion, Old Testament, Prophet Solomon, as King Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. That's in 1 Kings. 1 Kings, 11, 11, 3. Okay? So he had, King David had multiple wives and concubines. Some of the wives included Abigail, Bathsheba, and Noam. 2 Samuels 5:13, 1 Chronicles 3:1-9. His relationship with Bathsheba is particularly well known due to the adultery and subsequent consequences. So his Bible, is talking about prophets having 700 wives, 300 concubines, and some of them committed adultery, yeah, and sending incest. Lot, they don't consider Lot to be prophet. Well, Lot, the Bible is talking about Lot having incest relationship with his 2 daughters. To his 2 daughters give him alcohol and to had sex, incest with him. So the Bible portray and describe prophets to have sexual relationship, not halal sexual relationship, illicit, prohibited, adulterous, okay, incestuous relationships. In Christian will jump say now, well, God punished them in the Bible. So what is this? Crime channel? So the God sent the Bible as a crime channel to prophets, bad role models, to show us how to commit fornication in incest. But the God punished. So God sent crime channel, Netflix, right? What is the moral of the stories? What are we learning from these bad role models? Yeah. So the Christian God in the Bible sending bad role models, prophets. So no role models in Christianity, none, zero. So Bible talking about prophets of God, so it means you're accusing God of failing to choose good role models as prophets. Not only failed to choose good prophets, good role model prophets as good role models for their communities. No, the opposite. Bad role models. How to commit fornication, incest with their daughters, cheating, extramarital affairs. Yeah, all of that. Okay, they can have 700 wives. It is if it's a wife, it's a wife. Okay, we're not talking about wife. It's illegal. Okay, but the number is massive. 700. Prophet Muhammad had 11. You talk about Solomon, 700 wives and 300. And Solomon used to visit them in one night. Okay, this guy is a hypocrite. King David, Solomon's father, had multiple wives and concubines. Some of his wives included Abigail and rest of it. Okay, this in 2 Samuels 5:13 and 1 Chronicles 3:19, right? Jacob, what happened with Jacob? This is the Bible, okay? Had 2 wives, Leah and Rachel, and 2 concubines, Bilhah and Zilpah, okay? Who bore him the 12 sons who became the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so the list get on. Multiple wives. Okay, multiple wives. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. So let's go back to this guy and watch and share again. All right.
Its convenience and desires. His first marriage was to a woman who.
Okay, so let's go here. Okay, go back. Okay. Okay.
9 or 11 wives at once. The Quran itself says that you may marry the women that you like, 2, 3, or 4. But Muhammad had much more than 4, because the Quran gives special privileges to Muhammad, such as that women could simply give themselves to him and he could marry them. Even his wife Aisha commented that.
All right. So saying here that the Quran states that Allah gave privileges to Prophet Muhammad to marry more than 4 wives. That's true. And what is the problem with that? Well, in your Bible, 700, Solomon, David, all of these had 700, and you had no problem with that. You just converted to Orthodox Orthodox Christianity. And in the Bible, we just mentioned before, 700 wives and rest of it. Okay? Privileges. Allah Almighty, when He chose Prophet, well, He wants, Allah Almighty wants people to be around Him, to monitor His life, even private life. Okay? In that case, leaders of Arab tribes competed to give their daughter to the Prophet to marry. He didn't go after them and proposed. Many of them wanted to have the honor and the title of being the wife of the prophet, even if she was not going to have intimate relationship. Many of them were widow, single moms, divorced, old age, many of them. And the prophet accepted that because he wanted to unify the Arabic tribes, to make them come together, to be unified under the new Islamic State. Everyone competed out of love, wanted to have the honor of being the wife of the Prophet. Okay? And we'll give you an example. And for Allah, the best of examples. If I'm an owner of a company and I wanted to hire you as a CEO, I would give you some privileges. You are a CEO of the company. I will give you a car. to be able to operate and move smoothly from place to place to do the job quick and fast. I'll give you a credit card to use to spend money on guests or clients that coming to do business in the company, in my company, right? I'll give you probably a unit to live in, okay? So I have to give you some privileges. So you manage and run the company as a CEO, chief operating officer, CEO, yeah? But those privileges I wouldn't give to every single employee because they're not doing the job, the same job. I'll give each employee some privileges matching the operational needs of the job. If someone is a security guard, well, I'll give him access 24/7 to the building and car park at the basement. If he's an IT, I'll give him privilege to access to the network, okay? Computer network. If he is a cleaner, I'll give him access to the toilets, okay? But if a CEO, I'll give him access to everything to be able to monitor everything and oversee everything and check on everything. And for Allah, the best examples. When he chose Prophet, he tells him some of the unseen as well. He support him with some miracles. He support him with teaching him some of the unknown with Allah's permission. The angel Jibril comes to tell the Prophet about things will happen in the future. This is called prophecy, to prophesy. So evidence of the true prophethood of any prophet to prophesy about the future. That's why Allah support a prophet with some miracles, support him with knowing the unseen, some part of the unseen, okay? And this is Allah's permission. Also, Allah Almighty want largest number of people to have access to the Prophet life. This is why he has a lot of companions, more than 100,000. He has multiple wives to monitor every single movement of his life in the house and out of the house. In fact, having more than wife is an evidence of the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad, because it shows that he never ever made one single lie. No prophet, if Prophet Muhammad was not a true prophet, he will never ever be able to make all his wives believe that he is a prophet of God. All of them believe that he is a prophet of God because they never ever saw him making one single mistake or lie. He was best role. He was great role model, unlike the biblical prophets. Yeah, biblical prophets committing adultery, incest with their Lot. You know what I mean? And Solomon lusting after other. Hang on. Give me a second, brother. Let me get this for you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. Give me a second, brother. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Get this here. All right. Okay, so here we have the biblical figure who lusted after the married wife of one of his soldiers was King David. This is one of the most well-known and dramatic soldiers stories in the Bible, found in 2 Samuel 11, right? Uriah the Hittite, okay? Hittite. He had a soldier. His name was Uriah the Hittite. and he made sure that he sent him on front line, so he dies and he take his wife, married wife, his wife. Okay, so the corrupt Bible tells us that David, King David, Prophet David of God, lusted, coveted a married woman, the wife of Uriah, the Hittite, Hitti, we say it in Arabic, Hitti. In this is, and you can see it in 2 Samuel's 11, verse 2 to 4. Well, the Bible then will say, let's say the consequences. He got her pregnant, tried to cover up by summoning Uriah and send him to the battlefield, and end up, so he was dead there on the battlefield. Yeah, so the Bible, corrupt Bible, describes the prophet of God David, right, to plot to premeditated murder, to kill, and coveted the wife of the man Uriah and get her pregnant in sin, adultery. So it's a lot of crimes. So this is the role model that the Bible describes. Yeah. Okay. Let's complete. And what do you learn from this? A Christian will say, we learn that God punished him. It tells us that the Christian God failed to choose a good role model as a prophet. And in fact, he chose bad role models: kill, lust, plot, premeditated murder, got her pregnant, adultery, all of it. But God punished him. So what is the point of the Bible then? To be a crime channel, right? What are we learning from this nonsense story? What are you learning, really? Okay? You're learning you'll get punished. Well, we know if you commit sin anywhere, you don't need God to send you a crime channel. I can watch crime channel and know that if you commit a sin or commit a crime, you'll be punished. Yeah? Okay. So let's complete. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Could simply give themselves to him and he could marry them. Even his wife Aisha commented that she does not understand how women can just give themselves to him, and that Allah seems to care a lot about Muhammad's convenience and desires.
Well, as I mentioned before, and for Allah, the best of examples. The example, if I own a company, well, I have to give some privileges for the CEO, right? Okay? And he's mentioning here, that lawyer is saying that this privilege, in fact, those privileges are restricted, and we're going to see. So he's quoting here, Quran, okay, 33:50, right? Let's go to 33:50. Okay. Hang on, let me, 33:50. So I'm going to 33:50 and the 2 verses after it, 52. So you have to always, when anyone quote a Quranic verse to you, make sure to read the one before and after, or 2 verses before and after, to be able to understand the context. Okay, so this liar saying, okay, if this liar, we go to this liar saying, he misquotes the Quran saying that Allah give unlimited privileges and a lot of privileges for Prophet Muhammad. We go chapter 33, verse 50. We go here, chapter 33:50. Okay, let's go here, man, and we read, "O Prophet, we have made lawful for you your wives." Okay, so they are his wives for a start. Okay, they are not he's not committing adultery, not like the David, yeah, not lusting, married, plotting, killing, rest of it. Okay, so his wives. So Allah says in the meaning, this is the meaning of the translation of this verse. "O Prophet, we have made lawful for you your wives, to whom you have paid their full dowry." So I give dowry, okay? It's good. "As well as those bondswomen, all right, in your possession." Okay? So what's bondswomen? Bondswomen in Islam are usually the hostages, okay? That were prisoners of war, okay? Prisoners of war. Okay, but how this happened? Okay, let's get this here. need to understand where this is coming from. Okay, let me going to explain to you. Okay, I'm going to see here. Okay, so here the slavery comes from. First of all, bondswomen, we're talking about slave women. Slave women. All right, so where did they come from in the first place? Well, slave women, Islam prohibits all type of slavery. When Islam came, they found that Arabs, they used to raid free people. Arabs, they used to raid each other. It was chaos. Chaos. Each tribe used to raid the other tribe and capture them and sell them in slaves market, right? So free people used to end up being slaves, the free people. So the tribes, it was chaos. It was chaos. So Arabs used to raid other free people of other free tribes, capture them, sell them, take the men and women. The men, they used to work as slaves, hard labor, and women take them for them as concubine, yeah, or put them in, use them for prostitution, right? So when Islam came, he said he prohibited all types of slavery. He said it's haram to enslave any free person. It is haram to enslave any person. So he said to Arabs, no more slavery. That's why Arab pagans hated Islam, because Islam equated between the slave and master. He said no more slavery. So Islam prohibited all types of slavery except one type, which is valid until today. There is only one single type of slavery that's allowed in Islam and valid until today, which is if Muslims, if enemies of Islam come today and fought Muslims. If they fought Muslims and we capture some of them prisoners of war, as prisoners of wars, well, that's your punishment. You come to kill me. So the enemies of Islam come to attack Muslims. Well, you need to know if you get captured, you will be enslaved, because you choose out of your own free will to obey your leaders and commit aggression against Muslims and come take their lands, occupy their lands, kill children Muslims and elderly women. And you expect me as Muslims, when I catch you, to let you go free back to your home? Yeah? We have to capture you. So Muslims, this is the only type of slavery. We have to capture you as a prisoner of war and enslave you. Okay? So this is the only type of slavery allowed in Islam. All right. So what will happen? Okay. What will happen when we capture you as a prisoner of war? Okay. Let me hear. I'm going to explain what will happen. So as Muslims, the Muslims have 4 choices in dealing with those fighters and prisoners of war, regardless of their gender. Well, you coming to kill me, okay? You are a state of any country, okay? Enemy of Islam, you come to invade my land, occupy my land, you wanted to occupy Muslim land, you wanted to kill Muslims, you wanted to steal their wealth, okay? So Muslims need to stand up, defending themselves, defending their land. And what will happen? If Muslims win and capture some of those non-Muslims, non-Muslim fighters, right? We have to deal with you. We have to capture you, okay? We will not let you go. You killed some of us. You wanted to go free? No, we have to deal with you, okay? This is how we will deal you. This is options in dealing with the prisoner of war or slaves. 1, to return them without a price and peacefully to their place of origin. So you want me, after we capturing you, you come to kill us, kill our Muslims, to return you peacefully, and turn the cheek and love your enemy and this big load of crap. No, we don't have that. Okay? You come to kill us, we will not return you back to your homeland, your country that came to invade us, because this is illogical. because it means we are encouraging you to come back to kill us, to prepare yourself better. Okay, the other option is to kill you. When we capture you, we kill you. Okay, and this would be harsh. Islam has mercy. So this would be contrary to the noble objectives of Islam, such as mercy and justice and the prohibition of killing innocent people. So if we capture you and you didn't kill any one of us yet, we will not kill you for now. Okay, we capture you, we imprison you. Okay, you are a prisoner of war, you are our slave now. Okay, or so this is the second option. The third option is to enslave those prisoners of war to keep them, right? And work for us. Or make a deal with the enemies and exchange the non-Muslim prisoners of war with our Muslim prisoner, with the Muslims in the hands of the non-Muslim army, right? So this is how we deal with the prisoners of war. So this only type of slavery is to deter, means to scare the enemies of Islam from thinking about coming and to fight us. So if you get captured, if you a non-Muslim and coming to invade Muslim land and come to fight Muslims, we have four options in dealing with you. Return, and obviously there are four scenarios. Doesn't mean that all of them are correct. The first scenario is to return you, and this will not happen. We will not return you for free. No, you come to kill us, you have to pay the price. Okay? No turning the cheek, no love your enemies here. You come to kill us, we have to imprison you. Okay? So we will not return you to home. We will not kill you if you didn't kill anyone at this stage. But three, we will enslave you to scare you and scare your fellow people behind you, and to know that we mean business. We mean it serious. It's serious. If you come to invade us and try to kill us, you will be enslaved. Whether you are man or woman, we don't care. You try to kill us, you will be slave. You will be working hard labor for Muslims to clean their toilets, clean their streets. If you are a married woman, your marriage is cancelled. If you are a married woman, Christian married woman, and come to kill Muslims, you joined your army and come to kill Muslims, your marriage will be cancelled, and you will be a slave for Muslim man. Will be a slave for Muslim. So you better not come to fight Muslims from the beginning. If you don't want to be enslaved by Muslims, don't fight Muslims from the start. Okay? Right? So this is third option. Okay? Or with the prisoner of war, we do a deal, exchange. Our Muslim brothers in the hands of the enemy, we will be swapped with the non-Muslim fighters in our hands. But we will not return you for free. We will not kill you if you didn't kill anyone, but we either enslave you and you be our slave and servant, or we'll do the exchange. The leadership of your army, deal swap, prisoner swap of prisoner of war. Okay? Or if the enemy is fighting Muslims, give them pay any deal. There are deals. Yeah? If there are deals, and the Muslim leaders has the decision here and need to comply with Quran and authentic hadith. Right? So no turning the cheek here. No free ride. You're not. So this is where concubine coming from. This is where slave women coming from in Islam. A slave woman is originally or usually was non-Muslim and was captured. She was coming to kill us. So we have to capture you. We're not going to return you for free because you're coming to kill us. Yeah? We're not going to kill you. We're not going to return you for free. Okay? Unless if we're doing a deal, a swap deal, exchanging. We have Muslim prisoners of war there at the enemy's hands, and we wanted to take them back. So we might do a prisoner swap, right? So, right? Yeah, you get it, brother? You get it, brother? Okay. Okay. All right. So this is where slave woman came from. So we go back here to this guy. Okay. So here's a prophet, peace be upon him. What happened is Arab tribes used to fight him too, and they get captured. When they get captured, right? You try to kill the Prophet and Muslims and Muslim children. No, we're not returning you for free to your family. Yeah, we'll not kill you because you didn't kill anyone yet, but the intention to kill us is there. So we're going to keep you as prisoner for, and you have to work for Muslims, labor under supervision. We have to learn you. And if you are married, your marriage is cancelled because you choose to come and kill us. So your marriage is cancelled. We will not say, sweetheart, you tried to kill us. We will go send you back to your wife. So you go back and have more kids and prepare prepare very well and come back with your children to kill us. No. We might swap you with prisoners of war, Muslim prisoners of war in the other hands, but we will let you go for free. Yeah? Makes sense. So this is slave women come from. They were captured, they were trying to kill us, and because the mercy of Islam, we didn't kill them. We didn't kill them, so we keep them as slaves. We give them second chance to live. So keep them as slaves, it's actually a mercy because we're exposing them to Islam, to know the true Islam. And also we give them another chance to live. Yes, they will live in slavery in Islam because they choose. Originally, they out of free will, they wanted to come and kill us. Okay? So, however, we will be detained. Okay? Even currently, non-Muslim countries, if you trespass a border of any other country, you didn't kill, you wanted to move to any country, Europe, yeah? Refugees go through borders, right? They jump borders because basically they wanted to be refugees. They're not having weapons. They don't want to kill anyone. And despite that, those countries, they just detention centers. They prison those humanitarian entrants and refugees. Okay? So imagine if they were going to kill them. Well, they immediately, European countries or any country will live imminent, they will kill immediately. Okay? They will kill. So also, Muslims have the right, if any enemy come to kill them, to fight back. So when we capture someone and enslave them, that's a mercy. We didn't kill them immediately. We give them another chance to live and understand what Islam is. And also the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us to look after the slaves, feed them very well, don't mistreat them, don't bash them, all of that, all okay. Well, this is the Islamic standards. Well, if any Muslim violated this is a mistake of a Muslim, not the mistake of Islam. Islam teaching are crystal clear, right? So just to explaining where did this slave woman coming from. So go back to this verse again to know. So now we're talking about, right here, we read again, O Prophet, we have made lawful for you your wives to whom you have paid their full dowry, as well as those bond women. Bond women is slave women in your position, right? Whom Allah has granted you, and you are allowed to marry. The daughters of your paternal uncles and aunts, and the daughter of your maternal uncles and aunts who have immigrated like you. Also allowed for you marriage is a believing woman who offered herself to the Prophet without dowry. Well, if a woman wanted to choose to waive the dowry, she's not interested in dowry. She wanted to earn the title of being the wife of the Prophet and the honor of being the wife of the Prophet. Well, if a woman choose to drop the dowry requirement, well, that's a privilege for the Prophet. Not any Muslim. Any Muslim who will marry any woman must provide dowry to the woman, Muslim woman, right? But a Prophet, this is one of the privileges. Allah gave him some privileges. Okay? If he, all right, so if he is interested in marrying her, this is exclusively for you. So Prophet the only person that if a woman offered herself to marry him, it's possible without dowry. Okay. This is exclusively for you, not for the rest of the believers. Okay. We know well what rulings we have ordained for the believers in relation to their wives So Allah saying, in the meaning, translation of course, that He ordained rulings for believers, Muslims, in relation to their wives and those bonds, women or slaves in their position. As such, there would be no blame on you. So no blame on the Prophet if he choose to marry one of those women. Okay? And Allah is forgiving. Okay. So here is the verse again. Next verse saying, it is up to you, Prophet, to delay or receive whoever you please of your wives. There is no blame on you. If you call back any of those you have set aside, that is more likely that they will be content, not grieved and satisfied with you. Offer them all. Allah fully knows what is in your hearts, and Allah is all knowing. Well, initially, that Islamophobe will read those two verses and refuse to read next verse. Okay, let's read here. In fact, after Allah gave Prophet Muhammad some privileges, later on he restricted him. He say, Allah Almighty in the meaning, it is no more. It is not lawful for you, O Prophet, to marry more women after this. So after those privileges, Allah said to him, no more. You can't. It is not lawful for you, O Prophet, to marry more women after this. Nor can you replace any of your present wives with another. Even he can't divorce. He cannot change them after that. Okay? Is this a privilege really? It is a privilege. However, the Muslim man can marry four and replace them. If they're not happy with him, if there is problems, he can divorce all of them and marry another four, and divorce him and marry another four. I'm not saying that a Muslim should do that, but we're saying if the four Muslim wives died or there is big problems and there is need to divorce and all of that, the Muslim man has the potential. We're talking here hypothetical. We're not saying all Muslim men should go marry four and go divorce four all the time. No, we're not saying that. Okay. However, as I said, this verse 33:52 restricts the Prophet from marrying anymore or replacing his wives, present wives, okay, with another. So verse 33:52, it is not lawful for you, O Prophet, to marry more women after this, nor can you replace any of your present wives with another, even if her beauty may attract you, except those bondswomen in your position. And Allah is ever watchful over all things. Okay? So this is a restriction on the Prophet. So let's go back to this guy. Okay.
Privileges to Muhammad, such as that women could simply give themselves to him and he could marry them. Even his wife Aisha commented that she does not understand how women can just give themselves to him, and that Allah seems to care a lot about Muhammad's convenience and desires.
Well, Prophet Aisha, Lady Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, woman, she was jealous. She felt jealous. That's natural reaction. And for the Prophet, the wives of the Prophet Muhammad, all of his wives, never ran away, never asked to divorce. All of them stayed loyal to him after his death. They carried the message of Islam. All taught Islam. All abided by the Quranic prohibition not to marry anyone after the Prophet. All were loyal, faithful to Allah first and foremost, and then to the Prophet. So they never married after him. They never none of them left Islam. They abided by Islam. They taught Islam. They never married anybody after him. They all loved him. Nobody wanted divorce from him. And none of them said anything wrong about him. None of them said anything wrong. On the opposite. All of them loved him. All of them wanted to be with him. All of them praised his manners. All of them. So a liar, if someone making a lie, you can lie to one, but it's impossible to lie to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Impossible. Impossible to make You will make mistakes somehow if you're normal human. But Prophet Muhammad is a prophet of God, infallible. He's saying all the truth. And all his wives saw that he's saying the truth. They saw that inside the home and outside of the home. If they saw any wrong or any mistake, they would immediately leave and side with his enemies. If they knew anything wrong, they'll use it against him. But the Prophet never done anything wrong. The Prophet, best man, Prophet is infallible. And they know how great the Prophet was. Okay, so this is when she made this statement, I feel that your Lord hastened in fulfilling your wishes. She's still human, a bit of jealousy. And we, in the hadith, there are some records of jealousy between some of the wives. That's natural. That's natural. And the reason for that, Allah wants us to show us how the Prophet managed that. Okay? The Prophet is not God or Son of God. Yeah? We can't copy a walking God. You can't. That's why Christianity is wrong. Because we need a good role model who married, who eats, who sleeps. Yeah. All right, so let's keep going.
His first marriage was to a woman who was 15 years older than him, because she was his employer and supporter. But after her death, he could...
Well, Lady Khadija, when he was working for her, because she proposed to him to marry him, because she saw his honesty. She saw his honesty in dealing, in handling her money and business. If he was a liar, if he was a deceiver, if he was taking money out behind her back, she will never, ever trust him. She will sack him. She will not hire him. She will not keep him. On the opposite. On the opposite. When she found that he's trustworthy, honest, exactly like Arabs, pagan Arabs before knew that, she wanted to be with him. She wanted to marry him. She proposed to him. No woman will propose to a liar and to a thug or to a thief who's stealing her, embezzling money, taking her money, wasting her money. In fact, nowadays we see married women who, when they saw their husband doing that, they divorce him and get rid of him, right? So this now that is testimony. That is testimony in the favors of the Prophet. That is a great manners, honest. So let's complete.
Just not get enough of women. Number 9, the child marriage.
So okay, so he's saying, okay, let's
These are brand new
add now.
and they've got bombshell information to
Okay,
talk
let's
about.
okay. Let's get to the reserve.
What
happened here? Like what happened here? Okay, so we go here.
Number 9.
Okay, so he's saying after that he had many wives. Well, this guy, go back to your Bible. We mentioned the Bible, 700 wives, this and that. We mentioned about the Bible, how the Bible talking about crimes, prophets as bad role models who committed incest, who lusted, coveted after married women, who plotted to kill the husband of the married woman. He impregnated someone out of marriage. Okay, and I mentioned before, the Christian will try to defend this by saying, they got punished in the Bible. So what? So God sent us crime channel. Yeah, I can say crime channel. You know that if you commit bad thing, you will get punished. What is the moral then? Okay. All right. So we go back. Next one.
Number 9, the child marriage. One very controversial fact about Muhammad is that he reportedly married a little girl when she was only 6 and consummated the marriage with her when she was only 9, meaning he had sexual intercourse with her when she was only 9 years old. Some modern Muslims want to doubt the authenticity, but those reports are not doubted unless you want to doubt the authenticity of Islamic scripture altogether.
Well, we made video about this yesterday, right? Just make sure you pin this video underneath, right? Well, first of all, we're not denying the authenticity of the hadith. Yes, Lady Aisha married the Prophet. She was 9 turning to 10. And this is in multiple authentic hadith. Okay? So, you can't reject this hadith. Hadith rejectors doesn't mean that you don't understand the clarification of the hadith, that it's not correct. Well, she was not a child. She reached puberty. She was not sold. Her parents were rich. The Prophet, this is not pedophilia. Pedophilia means grooming someone against their will and try to take them away from the public domain and use them in private. Well, the Prophet proposed to her. She reached puberty. He proposed to her, meaning he asked her hand from her parents, wealthy parents. Her wealthy parents accepted. Her wealthy parents accepted. Lady Aisha reached puberty, was big in body. In Islam, marriage is not only tied to age, only, because you can find someone 50 years old and mad woman at the age of 50 and 60. So it doesn't mean that someone is old in the age that she is good, suitable for marriage. No. So in Islam, marriage is tied to many factors, not just age. Mental maturity, age, and physical maturity. Well, in mental maturity, well, Lady Aisha was very mature, because in the old days, centuries ago, men and young men and women used to mature quickly because no touch screen, hands-on, everything they used to do it hands-on. She reached puberty. Was not rape because he asked it from her parents. He paid dowry. Okay? Physically, she was big. Many hadiths talking about her mom feed her very well. The other thing is worth mentioning here, Mary, mother of Jesus, she was almost 12. She married Joseph the carpenter. He was 87 years old. There was Gad, about 70 years old we're talking about. Those hypocrites will never ever mention that. It's documented in the Catholic Encyclopedia. Okay? Well, forget about the Catholic Encyclopedia. If they wanted to deny it, well, how old was Mary when she married Joseph the carpenter? What was the age difference? 1 year. We need to hear from Christians. The age gap between them was not less than 50 years. That's Christian historians. That's a Catholic Encyclopedia. It's not Islamic. We're not talking about that. I'm not mentioning Rebecca now. Everybody knows about Rebecca and Isaac. Okay, I'm not using it, but despite Rabbi said that, you share the link with them, brother, okay? The other thing as well, the grandmother of Jesus, Saint Anne, she was also roughly 12, and Joachim, her husband, the age gap was 30 years old, okay? The other thing too, sometimes they use this, I will say, Lady Aisha used to play with dolls to try to prove that she was young. Well, sweetheart Christian now, Orthodox Christian now, you guy, Trinitarian, who kiss the idols now and that leaking oil. Well, in the Bible describes that your God, in your God lineage, prostitutes. So they didn't play with dolls, they played with real dicks of men. Okay? So prostitutes. So in the lineage, in the lineage of Jesus, in the Bible, corrupt Bible, obviously in Islam, Prophet Isa is well respected, we respect him, and he's from purest lineage. But the corrupt Bible, as usual, made a mockery of prophets of God. The Bible depicts them to be sinners committing incest, children of illegitimate relationship. So in Jesus' lineage, some prostitutes, right? Some prostitutes, they used to play with real men dicks. Okay, prostitutes, hookers. Okay, let me get here. Get the reference here for you. Okay. Easy. Easy, easy. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. Yeah, so here we go, brother. We're going to mention the Tamar and Rahab, yeah? And third woman, Bathsheba, okay? So those Christians, if they wanted to go check the reference after me. So Tamar in Matthew 1:3, right? And Rahab in Matthew 1:5, and Bathsheba in Matthew 1:6, right? So we have here, you can go also Tamar, Genesis 38, Rahab, Joshua 2, Bathsheba 2, Samuel 11, and directly referenced in Matthew 1:6, right? Okay, so we go back here. So here you go. So the corrupt Bible and describes that in the lineage of Prophet in Jesus, there are prostitutes. They didn't only play with dolls, they played with real dicks. Yeah, they handled dicks, human dicks, guys' dicks. Yeah, and charged money for it too as well, by the way. Okay, yeah. So they attribute bad rubbish and insults to the lineage of their God. So they were worshiping God, and that God is a fruit of prostitution. What's going on? Okay, and they have the cheek to come and say, Lady Aisha was playing with dolls. Well, playing with dolls is not evidence that someone is young. You can find a big guy, big woman, 50 years old, and she has a doll, bear. She has bear. She has dolls. She put in the couch on near the TV, near that. Okay, doll doesn't mean that you're a child. Doll doesn't mean automatically and inevitably that you are a child. Doesn't mean that you are only a child. You could be 20 years old and you have a tiger, like a bear. You know what I mean? People, doesn't mean that you are a child. You could be a young woman. We acknowledge that Lady Aisha was a young woman. She reached puberty. Well, all Christians and Jews at the time never ever criticized Prophet for his marriage. Why is that? Because all of them, they used to do that. So all mankind are fruits of young marriages. So can I ask a Christian and Jews now and atheists, are you fruit of pedophiles? No, I wouldn't say that, because 2 centuries ago, many people in Europe used to get married at a very young age, 7 and 9. That was the culture, because they used to die quickly, right? And also, royal families in old Europe, they used to have intermarriages. That's why the tribes, Arab tribes, they offer their daughters to the Prophet to have the honor of being the wives of the Prophet. It's not just about intimacy or sexual relationship. And even if it was, well, this is his wives. These are his wives, right? Unlike now what's happening, you can find a Christian now who has multiple girlfriends, and someone on the side cheek, and side all that stuff. Okay, let's complete what is this guy.
Muhammad is taught to be the most perfect human being to ever walk the face of the earth, to be globally followed, obeyed, and imitated. The fact that he married and had sex with a little child makes this very problematic. Number 8, he was...
Well, again, and let me emphasize on this. So this guy, again, as I repeat again, he ignores that his God. Mary was almost 12 years, 10 to 12 years old when she carried him as a God incarnate. Well, what does that mean? A girl 10 to 12 means she's mature enough to be a mom, which means other girls in her age were allowed to marry when she was 10. Okay? Mary, mother of Jesus, as I said before, married Joseph the carpenter. And the Catholic Encyclopedia tell us that he was 87 years old. We're going to share all the links. We're going to share the references. Okay? And grandmother of Jesus and Saint Anne and Joachim, her husband, the age difference was roughly 30 years old. Age gap 30. All right, go to the next one.
Was a slave master. Although Muslims in modern times romanticize Muhammad as somebody who gave slaves better rights and emancipated slaves, that is a very new perspective and actually a distortion of who Muhammad was. Slavery and the slave market were always a big part, a core part of Muslim society, and Muhammad never ended or intended to end slavery. In fact, if we search through Islamic traditions about Muhammad and slavery, what we see is predominantly that Muhammad kept, bought, and sold slaves, picked out slaves, took or distributed female slaves for sexual pleasure, and even advised gifting a slave to someone else instead of freeing a slave. What is true is that a certain early Muslim, Bilal, was a slave and that he was bought and freed by the Muslims because he converted to Islam and he was asking for help. What is also true is that Muhammad and the Quran make it a good deed or an atonement for sins to free a slave. But
now, look, he just admitted now that the Quran and Islamic teachings promote freeing a slave is a good deed or an atonement for sin. So his previous statement that Prophet Muhammad bought, promoted, sold slaves, it's a big lie. This guy is delusional. He just admitted that the Quran and authentic hadith. So he's contradicting himself. The Prophet made statements in many different hadiths and the Quran that the Prophet taught his people and taught us that freeing a slave. Do you think if his followers and his companions saw the Prophet buying and selling and keeping slaves, what would they say to him? Why are you teaching us Quran to free slaves and the authentic hadith? It goes to show that this guy argument is contradictory, full of lies. So Islam is hurting them so much because it refutes their pagan trinity. So this guy, as I said, he went from 0 God to 3 God. Now he's believing in the Trinity, believing in Jesus as Son of God. He came to die for us and carry sins on our behalf and all of that. Okay? Right? So they hate Islam so much, they wanted to discredit Islam because Islam promotes the absolute and true pure monotheism, Tawheed, worshipping one God alone, Allah only, who is one in his essence. Absolute oneness, absolute monotheism, absolute Tawheed, no shirk, no polytheism. So he's attacking Islam so much because he wanted to promote shirk, he wanted to promote polytheism, he wanted to promote idol worshipping of Jesus and Mary and Jesus idol leaking oil and touch some oil and you are blessed and all good. Okay? Also, they believe, the Orthodox Church, they believe during the baptism, oil, they put oil in 36 opening of the body, including his butthole. So for him to be baptized, they put oil in his butthole, right? And his wife vagina. Yeah? And the priest touch her put his finger in her butthole and put his finger, the priest put the finger with oil in butthole and his mouth and all holes, right? On all holes. No holds barred. No holds barred when it comes to baptism with the Orthodox church. The 36 hole when during the baptism, and the oil and leaky oil, slippery stuff. And as you know what happened. What happened, the priests end up committing bad stuff. I don't want to go further, but look it up. Look it up. The 36 hole that the priest must touch and finger while doing that with the oil. So oil, finger, male priest, and woman, his wife. I'll leave you to imagine this. Okay? Yeah. And this is what he promotes. This is what he's promoting. Okay? This is what he's promoting. 36 hole, part of the process of being baptized in the Orthodox Church. Eastern churches usually they do that. Okay? All right. Back. Okay. So this is why he hates Islam so much. Because we don't have baptism. We don't have sheikhs or imams that oil up the new Muslims. We don't do that. If you're a new Muslim, you have just shower on your own. That's it. But to be lubed up and oiled up with touched in 36 holes of 36 positions, 36 positions in your body, including your holes. Okay? 36 positions. This is what I mean. 36 positions in your body, including your holes, including your butthole and vagina and priests. Yeah? That's what's happening. And this Orthodox church, and this most of Eastern church, and what they do. And this guy now went from 0 God to 3 gods in the Orthodox church. And now he's attacking Islam so much because Islam prohibits idol worshipping. Islam saying promote pure monotheism, absolute oneness of God. Islam doesn't teach the priest baptism and to be touched in 36 position in your body, including your butthole and vagina. Okay? This is what's happening. Right, let's listen. Okay. So he just here admitted that the Quran and Hadith order Muslim to free slaves. So in the previous minute, 2 seconds ago, he was saying Prophet Muhammad bought, kept, sold slaves. Ignorant imbecile, making contradictory statements. Okay, so on the other hand, he's trying to look like he's a professional. He's trying to pretend that he's professional, that he's not just being biased. He's just trying to pretend that he's not biased. So he's saying, oh no, the Quran yes say when Hadith saying free slaves, but the Prophet did really, and all his wives and 100,000 companions. This went over the head. They didn't notice that. Yeah? So they read the Quran and heard the Prophet say the Quran and the Hadith to free slaves, and they saw him buying the slaves and keeping them. Really? Really? You must be delusional. You must be bipolar or you think your audience dumb. So you have all to think that your audience dumb and no brains to believe that. Well, this is their problems. Let's listen. Keep listening.
Just because freeing a slave is a good deed or an atonement in exchange for sin, that doesn't mean that slavery is considered bad and that people are obligated to free slaves. Muhammad is the best example of Islam, according to Islam, and he certainly did not have a problem with the idea of the ownership of humans over other humans. Muhammad's strange state of revelations. The Islamic belief is that Muhammad was a messenger, a prophet of Allah, and that he would receive inspirations from Allah through the angel Gabriel. Muhammad would then recite those revelations that he supposedly received to the people around him, who would orally memorize them or write them down. The authenticity of all that aside for now, how Muhammad got these revelations is a matter of interest. According to the most authentic reports, Muhammad himself described that the inspirations from Allah would sometimes come in what resembles the ringing of a bell, and that this would be very hard for Muhammad. Sometimes the angel would come in form of a man and speak to him, and then he would grasp what was being said to him. According to other reports by his wife and those around him, he would sweat heavily when receiving a revelation. He would be irresponsive and in a trance-like state when receiving revelation. And according to one report, he was laying down, making loud noises, like the snorting of a camel.
Okay.
And his loyal follower Umar would cover him during that inspiration.
Okay.
I don't want to make any diagnosis
You
here,
already
but
made.
Muhammad's divine revelation.
You already made. You don't want? You already made diagnosis. Okay. Okay, let's complete.
Were seemingly a very great struggle to him and resemble the symptoms of certain psychological disorders, which are very distressing and which come with hallucinations and delusions. Muhammad was...
Okay, so now, before we go to this next one, so now basically saying that let's give our audience some background. This guy in the previous statement here is saying, okay, go here. Okay, all right, ringing bell. Okay, he's saying here ringing bell because there is hadith, another hadith talking. Okay, let's say here is the hadith. Okay, because there is hadith here, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, said the bell is the musical instrument of Satan. Okay, right? So now, when this guy say that, when he say that sometimes it reveals like the ringing of a bell. So he wanted to say that because the Prophet in an authentic hadith in Bukhari described the heaviness of the revelation. When angel Jibril comes to the Prophet, the heaviness he hear as if resemble a ringing bell, resembles. He said, he didn't say bell. He didn't say the sound of bell. He said resemble, means like. Okay? There is in Arabic language and in English language, when you describe two similar things or two things that they share similarity in one way or another, doesn't mean that they're identical. So if I say this guy, his stupidity reminded me with a donkey. Right? When I say this guy, stupidity, by comparing the heaviness, the heaviness or the revelation when angel Jibril come to Prophet Muhammad, sounds like, doesn't mean sounds like a bell in the strength. You know, when you bang a bell, this is the strength of the bell, strong. Okay, doesn't mean it is the actual bell. It doesn't mean that the musical bell. Okay, as I said, when you describe two things and there is one similarity between them, doesn't mean that they are identical. So as I said, when I say describe this guy, his stupidity reminds me with the donkey. Doesn't mean that I'm saying that he is a donkey, the real donkey, as in the animal. It could be donkey, but not the real donkey. I mean, in terms of stupidity and bias, right? So when I describe someone, him or anyone, not specifically mentioning him now, when I say donkey, I'm just in general, okay? When I say in general, when I say someone is stupid, definitely he's lying and misquoting Quran and Islam now, which is a very stupid thing, and it's reminding me truly with a donkey, okay, a real donkey. So here, when you describe two different things, human with a donkey, because they share the same stupidity. I swear the donkey is smart. Then the donkey is, that's an insult to the real donkey. But anyway, so when we describe a common theme between them, he's a human and a donkey. Yeah, there is stupidity. They share stupidity. When I say his stupidity reminds me of the donkey, doesn't mean that I'm saying he is a real donkey in the zoo. No. So doesn't mean that they are identical. Right? So here is the situation. The Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, he says the strength of the revelation is like the ringing bell in its strength and repetitiveness. Okay? Doesn't mean that it is the actual other one, that as in instrument, as in musical. No. Okay? So here, it's just the similarities. As I said, you can't describe two different things, but they are not identical. Right? It's like another hadith talking about what cuts the prayer if a Muslim is praying and a donkey or a woman will walk in front of you, will cut your prayer. Okay? So some Christian missionary will say Islam makes women like animal, equated. No. It means, I'll give you an example. When the council, your local council, put a sign on the street and it's written on it, no cats or dogs or elderly people are allowed to walk past this street. Doesn't mean that the council is telling you donkey and horses and carts are equal with elderly people. No. The council is telling you all of them, they share something. And this thing is danger to them. Right? So when the Prophet described the strength of the revelation, it is like he's even the Prophet, peace be on him, in his statement, he's saying like, resembles. He's not saying ringing bell. No, resembles. Okay. So I hope the audience got the point. Okay. So this guy wanted to conclude by saying, oh, well, based on this ring, like similarity, resembles the ringing bell, therefore it is from Satan, because the Prophet said in another hadith, here, the bell is the musical instrument of the Satan. Well, the music type of musical, not all, and this musical we're talking about is Jingle Bell for Christmas. Not all, this is why the Prophet mentioned things like that. Okay, so the bell that is from Shaitan, the musical instrument that's from the Shaitan, is the bells that indicate to shirk and kufr, and Christmas, which is polytheism, which is like ringing bell, like jungle bell. You know what I mean? Okay, that's different. So go back to this guy, this liar. Okay, back.
Come in what resembles the ringing of a bell, and that this would be very hard for Muhammad. Sometimes the angel would come in form of a man and speak to him.
We mentioned that.
And then he would grasp what was being said to him.
Yeah.
According to
we'll go to the next.
He was
we mentioned that.
A very great struggle to him and restrictions. Muhammad was born
and here a point before
psychological disorders.
Okay. And now before we go to the next one, he's going to talk about Kaaba and Blackstone. He's trying to discredit the Prophet by saying, well, he used to hallucinate because he ringing bell, all that stuff. Well, sweetheart, the Quran is here. The Quran in front of us here. There is zero hallucination. Okay? The Quran has miracles. Okay. Miracles of Quran. Let's get it for him here. Okay. Miracles of Quran. Hang on. Okay, miracles of Quran. So all our audience, okay, here are miracles of Quran. Okay, you go here, not astronomy, biology, chemistry, all those miracles, zero hallucination. They are miracles approved by non-Muslim scientists. Okay, so you can't claim that Muslim made this up. Okay, had been verified by non-Muslim scientists in the West. Some of them are atheists, in fact. Okay, so those miracles of Quran, there is zero hallucination about them, sweetheart. It's being delusional. It's talking rubbish. It's talking about his back end, which perhaps this explains why maybe he was baptized because of that. He was lately baptized. This is why he's talking through his back end. So here you go. So no hallucination. If the Prophet was making hallucination, will be mistakes in the Quran. There is zero mistakes. There are miracles. In fact, we can go here and let's say you do this here. Okay. Okay. All right. So we go here. Okay. This is a video here. Okay. Why is it impossible for Prophet Muhammad or teams of people to fabricate the Quran? Very short movie. Okay, let's go quickly. Yeah? We'll share all these links.
Why the Prophet Muhammad couldn't have written the Quran. The Quran is a book over 600 pages long. It covers a wide range of topics and was revealed bit by bit over a period of 23 years. So if a man wrote the Quran, we already have a number of problems. If you're going to write a book like the Quran and claim it's from God, you can't make any mistakes. The book can't contradict itself, and you have to keep it consistent as you add to it over a period of 23 years and keep the message consistent. The grammar and style also have to remain the same. If the Quran is not from God, Muhammad would have to write it himself. That means in the middle of the Arabian desert, with no books around and being illiterate, he would have to know law, civil rights law, criminal law, family law, labor law, military law, personal injury law, real estate law, and tax law. He would have to know history. With little to no Christian presence in Mecca, he would have to know the stories and events in the lives of the prophets before him, the history of past nations, Judeo-Christian religious rulings, and he would have to know it well enough to somehow offer additional information and details not found in those books. He would have to know how to develop a nation, how to start a government, know about worship.
I'll stop here for just to interrupt the video copyrights. You won't be flagged or anything. Yeah, yeah, and we'll play again.
Purification, invent dietary laws, know psychology about raising children, arbitration, distribution of wealth, finance, and business. In the area of science, he would have to know embryology, oceanography, about plate tectonics, cloud formation, UV rays, know about plants, mountains, bees, the human brain, the Big Bang, and the expansion of the universe. And in order to make the book complete, he would have to have knowledge of the future so he can write things that will happen in the years to come. He would have to be a time traveler in order to insert his name and mention in the Bible. If he's claiming that the book he wrote is from God, it must not have a single solution that doesn't work. He must also keep his emotions and personal life out of the book. The book should not reflect happy times nor sad times in his life. The writing should not become cheerful and optimistic, nor sad and gloomy as if a human wrote it. But when you read the Quran cover to cover, you can't sense when his wife died, when his daughters got married, when his grandchildren were born, when he was victorious, and when he was defeated. To anyone who examines the Quran, it becomes perfectly clear that there is no way a man in the desert 1400 years ago could have written such a book. But what if it were a committee of brilliant minds, a secret society that is in charge of correcting, updating, and rewriting the Quran over the years?
Interesting, yeah? Interesting, brother, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Their job would be to make sure that the book appears to be accurate, has no mistakes or contradictions, and to keep updating it to agree with science and the changing world. If that were the case, then there would be other versions of the Quran. Due to edits and improvements, we would have new edited versions and old versions with mistakes. You would be able to detect different writing styles and influences from the different authors. The problem with all of that is there is only one Quran. So one man didn't write it, and a committee didn't edit it, so where did it come from? What if clever devils dictated and influenced a man to write the Quran? The question then would be, what kind of devil calls to good behavior, worshiping God,
Yep.
honoring Jesus, giving to the poor, and warns of the devil? Any way you analyze the Quran, you come to a clear conclusion. It could not have been written by a committee, a devil, nor the Prophet Muhammad. Since it's impossible for Muhammad to have written it, then that means he was truthful in that it is from God.
Yep.
If it is from God, that means he was a genuine prophet. And if he's a genuine prophet, then his message should be heeded and obeyed.
Indeed. Yes?
That was
Okay.
good. That was
Yep.
good.
Yep. Yep. Go back to this liar here. All right. So No hallucination, no psychological or neurological problems. Let's go to the next slide.
Muhammad was born in Mecca into a polytheistic tribe that oversaw the pagan temple of the Kaaba, which then was dedicated to a polytheistic god, Hubal. Muhammad did not like his own culture, possibly because he was an orphan and he didn't fit in.
Possibly. He make assumptions. Possible. So he's saying Kaaba was pagan temple. Well, yeah, there were around Kaaba, Arabs deviated from the true message of Prophet Abraham and Ishmael, and they started to put idols. And this is why Islam came to restore Tawheed and bring the status of religion to the pristine original message of Tawheed and monotheism. That's why Prophet Muhammad, when he conquered Mecca, he destroyed 360 idols. He didn't keep them. Yes, we acknowledge that Arab pagans veered off the true message of Prophet Ishmael and Ibrahim of Tawheed, worshipping Allah alone. And this liar is saying that Kaaba is a pagan. No, pagan. We not worship the black stone. No Muslim, we don't have black stone in every single house of every single Muslim doesn't have black stone. When we pray here, we don't pray towards the black stone. Even the actual black stone in Mecca was stolen for 23 years. Right? And still, we pray towards the direction of the black stone. Doesn't mean that we worship the black stone. In fact, the Quran teaches us to worship the Lord of the house, where the black stone is. Let's read here. Okay. All right. Here is the Quran. Can you read it? Can you see it, brother? Just nod. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So Quran here. All right. What is the chapter? All right. This is Surah Quraysh. Surah Quraysh. Chapter 106. It's the short surah. Short chapter. 106. Here, in the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate. Since the Quraysh became accustomed to the journey of winter and summer, therefore let them worship the Lord of the house. The Lord of the house. Let them worship the Lord of the house, Allah. Not the house, where the black stone is. All right? Okay. Also, he's claiming that touching the black stone forgives sin. Well, it could be reason to forgive sin, and it's in the Bible too. Well, it's not a must, it's not obligatory. However, it is here in the Bible. Here again, let's hear the clearer here, chapter again. Right? So they should worship the Lord of the house. Here's the Quran, chapter 106. Okay. All right, let's get here. Where is it in the Bible? It says here in the Bible. Okay, let's see here, read here. When they find in the hadith that kissing the black stone cleanses one's sins, they are happy because they wanted to attack Islam and call it pagan. Okay? But when in Isaiah 6, chapter 6, verse 6, 7, and when they are shown in the Bible a verse that says kissing a glowing coal cleans sins, they run away. Okay? So here is we are exposing their lies and hypocrisy. So here you go. So exposing them and their lies. All right, back to this guy.
Reportedly, he used to go on trade routes to Syria as an early teenager, where he learned about Christians and Jews and their beliefs that he probably looked up to because they were far more advanced, knowledgeable, and civilized than his own people back home. Muhammad declared his own religion based on monotheistic Abrahamic beliefs.
Yeah, look, he's just admitting now that Prophet Muhammad religion is built on Abrahamic monotheistic beliefs. 2 seconds ago, he said pagan. He just tried to in this his last statement, in his last statement here, he tried to appear as if he's not biased. Obviously, he is biased because he just become pagan, Orthodox Christian, adoring and worshiping, adoring idols and seeking blessing from idols. Okay? And we don't seek blessing from the black stone. We don't seek blessing. We don't worship the black stone. It is a ritual. If you touch it, it can be reason to be forgiven. If you can, it's not a must. No order in Islam to do it. It's not a must. It's like when you make washing for prayers in Islam. It would be reason to cleanse one's sins and drop the sins, get rid of the sins. Similar, if you touch the black stone, if you can, it was not a must. It's not a mandatory. You can visit Mecca without touching the black stone at all. Okay? Right? So now he's trying in his last statement to say Islam is built on Abrahamic monotheistic beliefs. Okay, let's hear it again. Here's this statement.
Abrahamic beliefs, but even acts that he probably looked up to because they were far more advanced, knowledgeable, and civilized than his own people back home. Muhammad declared his own religion based on monotheistic Abrahamic beliefs, but even after declaring his own religion, which was meant to be an Abrahamic religion, he still kept many polytheistic pagan aspects which he adopted from the pre-Islamic Arab polytheists.
Again, he's lying because Prophet Muhammad demolished 360 idols around Mecca. The black stone that escaped, was stone that Prophet Abraham used as foundation for the house, the masjid in Mecca. We don't worship the black stone. Now I think he's going to talk about jinn. All right.
These are the Kaaba, which turned into the center of Islamic attention, the black stone, which the stone-worshipping polytheists revere.
Worshipping. The idiot, the liar, says that we worship the black stone. We just showed the Quranic chapter 106 before and say worship the Lord of the house, Allah, not the black stone.
The belief in beings called jinns and more. But
well, jinns are invisible creatures. Well, there are invisible creatures also, angels, and he believes in angels, right? So jinn basically are the children of shaitan. Shaitan is invisible. Or there are human shaitan like him. So yeah, so jinn is basically the invisible shaitan. Jinn basically is gender of Satan and the children of Satan. Well, that's it.
This is a topic that deserves its own entire video. 5. Muhammad was a suspected liar. Muslims and Islamic sources often assert that Muhammad was known as a reliable.
Now he's repeating himself. When we go through this, he's repeating himself. He is a liar. This guy is a liar because we established before that Lady Khadija, his first wife, when she found him honest, very honest, trustworthy in handling her money, she went to so far to the point to propose to him because she was very honest with her in handling in her money. Okay? And she saw his good morals. So this is now repeating himself. So let's get next one. Let's see what's happening.
Man, and that he had the nickname the trustworthy, not mean that this person can announce his trustworthy.
Okay.
They assert that he earned the video. 5. Muhammad was not mean that
needs to go to 60 because he's repeating himself. What is 6 now?
Revealed liar repeatedly. They call him a victim of take on attempts to see that the entire idea that Muhammad was undoubtedly a reliable man. Truth. Number 4, head of military and truth. See that the man that Muhammad talks to speaks a different language, what Quran revelations and stories from a specific man that Muhammad used to spend time with. And the Quran attempts
we have mentioned before in the videos that I played, the short video I played before, we established that it's impossible for Prophet Muhammad to come up with the Quran. Now He's saying Quran, someone, a human taught him. In fact, Allah Almighty here refuting that, and we're going to see. He mentioned, and we certainly know that they say it's only human. Okay, so here, let's read the verse. Okay, what verse? He's mentioning verse 16:103. Okay. All right, so we read before this. All right, so Allah Almighty in chapter 16, verse 102, say the Holy Spirit, means Jibreel, has brought it down from your Lord with the truth to reassure the believers and as a guide and good news for those who submit to Allah. And we surely know that they say no one is teaching him except a human. So Allah tells us that Allah knows that the liars and non-Muslims will claim that someone human told Prophet Muhammad the Quran. But in the previous verse, as we can see, Allah Almighty says, say the Holy Spirit has brought it down from your Lord with the truth and reassurance. So this guy, as usual, lies, and twisting of the Islamic scriptures. All right, so next.
To refute this in a rather funny way by saying that that man that Muhammad talks to speaks a different language while the Quran is in Arabic. From here, we can kind of see that the entire idea that Muhammad was undoubtedly a reliable man is a little bit far-fetched and probably does not represent the whole.
And probably, he's probably, yeah. If you're going to accuse Islam, you have to have crystal clear evidence. He keeps saying probably, maybe, probably.
Truth. Number 4, head of military and state. Muhammad was not only a prophet and the founder of the Islamic religion, he was also the head of a new state and its army. Muhammad formed the Islamic State with his followers in the city of Medina. This state was the first Islamic state whose mission it was to uphold Islam, to protect the Muslims, and to spread Islam. Under different pretenses, the Muslim army under Muhammad conquered tribe after tribe, and Muhammad's state had taken most of Arabia by the time he died. After his death, his followers established the caliphate and designated caliphs who...
Well, when his successors, people after Prophet Muhammad, spread Islam, it means that they trusted him. It means that they knew he's the true prophet. It means that they saw his prophets, saw true prophecies and miracles. If they had zero doubt, any doubt, they wouldn't be loyal to the message of Islam. And what Islam preaches? The oneness of Allah. The absolute tawheed and absolute monotheism. And he's very upset because Islam demolished his falsehood, demolished his polytheism of worshipping 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. You know what I mean? And asking the dead, going to dead saints and calling on the dead, committing polytheism. That is a true polytheism. In Islam, it's prohibited to call on the dead. It's prohibited even to go to the grave of the Prophet and ask him for any help, because we know he's human, 100% human. Prophet Muhammad is human. That's why we refute Sufis, because Sufis committing shirk by going to the dead in graves and ask them. And that is a big crime in Islam, shirk, polytheism. We ask Allah alone. So this guy admitting that the followers and Khalifa, the followers of Prophet Muhammad, Umar, Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab, Abu Bakr, and the rest of the great companions of the Prophet, they abided by Islam, they spread Islam, they were loyal to Islam. So his wives as well, all of them. Okay? He's just now contradicting himself and exposing his lies. And in fact, as we said before, he was atheist. He went from 0 God to 3. He went to Orthodox Church, as I said, where the priest needed to use oil to touch 36 positions in his body, including his butthole. All right, let's complete.
Who, like Muhammad, led the state and the army to uphold and spread Islam like Muhammad did. This caliphate continued fighting until it was abolished by Ataturk in the early 20th century. Muhammad's life is unclear. Trusting Muhammad is not the only issue that we have. Even before we get to trusting Muhammad, it is hard for us to establish who Muhammad really was. The Quran deals in much of its contents with the political matters that are happening during the time of its revelation. Aside from that, it repetitively retells fragments of biblical stories and makes claims about life, afterlife, and Allah. It doesn't really tell us much about Muhammad himself.
Let me stop here. Thank you very much. A prophet, any author of any book, usually they write about themselves, a biography about themselves in their book. They will be proud to put their name on the book that they just wrote. They will mention events that he, the author, experienced. The fact that the Quran doesn't mention too much information about Prophet Muhammad, it proves that Prophet Muhammad didn't write it himself, didn't write it about himself, didn't write it about his wives. Okay? Because it's not about him. It's about the true, pure, and absolute monotheism. And this is the word of God, that Prophet Muhammad has no input in it. Prophet Muhammad didn't write a letter or add a letter or subtract a letter to the Quran. It was from God, from Allah. And he delivered it perfectly.
What we know about Muhammad comes from biographies, the first complete one of which came into existence 120 years after Muhammad's death, and mostly relied on oral traditions. The other primary source is the Hadith, which are transmitted narrations about the actions and words of Muhammad and his contemporaries. And the first complete Hadith compilation was completed a century after Muhammad's death. While
Let's stop here, this liar. We go here, he's saying the Hadiths were completed hundreds of years later, or more than 100, 200 years later. Let's go here. We have the Hadith preservation response. So we have written this. We have following is a list of some of the Hadith collectors prior to Bukhari, before Bukhari. Okay? So Bukhari came later, maybe 100 years later or more or less. But Bukhari relayed or collected the Hadith from people before him, who used to document the Hadith during the life of the Prophet. Initially, the Prophet prohibited the collection of the Hadith initially, in the beginning, so people don't mix between writing the Quran and the Hadith. And then he ordered them later on to write the Hadith, after everybody know that this is the Quran and the other thing is Hadith. So here is a list of some of the Hadith collections before Bukhari. One, book of Khalid ibn Ma'dan. Okay? Books of Abu Qilaba. All right? The script of Hammam ibn Munabbih. Okay? Books of Hassan al-Basri. Okay? And rest of it, and rest of it, and rest of it. Okay? We have also Musnad ibn Shayba. Al-Bukhari as well. Book of Hakam ibn Utayba. Books of Mokhel from Syria. Right? Okay. Books of Qais ibn Sa'd. And list. Here we have the list, brother. Very long list. Okay? Musnad of Rabi' ibn Sabih. Magazi of Muhammad. Okay? Muwatta ibn Abi Zayd. Muwatta ibn Malik. Right? So we have a very, very long list. I'm going to share it with you. Okay? I'm going to share everything with you. Okay? Later on. Right? So that ignorant thinks because Bukhari came later and the book of Bukhari is maybe later, a bit later than the time of the Prophet, that there is gap. Well, obviously he's ignorant. No, nothing. Okay? Just to hear lies about Islam. So the hadith was the companions of the Prophet started to document the hadith, and as we saw before, there are multiple sources of hadith. Bukhari just came later on and he collected and ensured he tried to make sure to collect hadith and classify it. So that's what he did. All right. And so Muslim as well.
The most authentic compilations only came into existence over 2 centuries after his death. There are also many problems with the hadiths, such as that many unreliable hadiths exist, and that hadiths can only be rated as authentic if the narrators...
Well, this ignorant imbecile again the liar, he has no idea about what does that mean to collect hadith. Well, as Muslims, we collected all hadith, the authentic hadith, fabricated hadith, and the weak hadith, and lies about Islam and hadith. And we categorize, classify all of them in different books. So we know what's authentic, we know what we know we have books of lies, hadith, fabricated hadith, so we are aware of. That's exactly like At-Tabari. Imam At-Tabari mentioned that is in his book. He mentioned that he collected everything weak and false and true hadith, so we don't miss out on the authentic hadith. It's like if you have a handful of diamonds, small diamonds, fine diamonds, and you drop on the floor. How are you going to collect them? Well, you bring the broom or vacuum cleaner and you suck or sweep everything on the floor, dust, diamond, sands, dirt, anything. So you don't miss on the diamond. It's a collection, collect everything. And that's exactly what the hadith specialists did. They collected everything. They collected the authentic, they collected the weak, they collected the fabricated, so we don't miss on any authentic hadith. And this is one of the ways that hadith was preserved. Okay, all right.
Are Muslims of good character, which under historical standards would establish bias and put the authenticity of those reports under doubt.
Oh, okay. So he's claiming now for us to only collect hadith from good Muslims is not good because it's biased. So we get priests now from his church to collect hadith for us. Yeah? This is what he's saying? It is a farce. Of course, we have to have criteria and to ensure that those who collected the hadith from are morally good Muslims. We're not going to collect it from a priest who just used oil on you, on your 36 position on you, or he just received a confession from a hooker, or who from a priest who just blessed the two gay couple, two guys. Yeah? No. The hadith we're going to collect, there must be Muslims, trustworthy Muslims, not any Muslims. Yeah?
So accounts of who Muhammad actually was and what he really did rely on late accounts that may be very biased.
Maybe. Can you see this terminology he's using? Maybe. Very late. Maybe. Okay? Yeah. He's just trying to spread lies and suspicions. No crystal clear evidence. Obviously, he's getting paid. He's on the payroll of some church there.
And that makes it hard to trust the Islamic tradition altogether.
Nobody, sweetheart, asked you to trust Islam or to be Muslim. Well, obviously, Islam causing serious problems for them because exposing their lies, exposing their policies, exposing their shirk, and exposing their false worship of false God, a God that was dead and buried, a God that can't defend himself, a God that his creation killed him and buried him. Oh, he sacrificed himself. Oh, 3 days, and he withdrew his sacrifice 3 days. Jesus sacrificed his weekend for us. Yeah, sacrificed his life. He didn't sacrifice his life. He went 3 days and come back and withdraw his sacrifice. He didn't die. Christian they believe he died he was killed on the cross and died 3 days and returned back to life. Oh, but he went into hell too, by the way. And some wanted to save those anyway. So, yeah. So what is the sacrifice here? He withdrew his sacrifice after 3 days. So Islam exposes all those blasphemous ideas of God to be human. Islam glorifies God. Almighty Allah doesn't die, never die. All living, all knowing. Not not a God that was dead and buried, and 3 days was raised, sacrificed.
Number two, Muhammad was illiterate or ignorant. Among most Muslims, it is a known fact that Muhammad was illiterate, although there is some dispute about this. Generally, Muslims argue that it is miraculous that Muhammad was illiterate.
Well, we mentioned before in the beginning of the video that it's impossible for Prophet Muhammad to come up with this Quran, and we played the video so our viewers can go back. We don't want to repeat these things, okay? So he will talk about, okay. Let's go to the next one.
That Muhammad was really scripture or ignorant of Abraham. Although Muhammad's illiteracy is treated, he was a messenger, a prophet of Allah. The idea here was not that Muhammad will be the last messenger and that the Muhammad is the final messenger, who is so the final messenger. Islam teaches that Allah sent come onto the true path. The idea here was not that. If we look closer at the Quran and the Hadith, we see that the idea here was not that Muhammad will be the last messenger and that the world will then go on forever. The idea was rather that Judgment Day, the last day, the end of the world, is imminent. It is very near, about to happen. And that Muhammad is the final messenger who has come to warn everybody before it happens. According to the early Islamic reports, Muhammad said on multiple occasions that the last day is about to happen, that it is extremely near, closer than ever. He hinted and said that the events of the last day are about to happen. He feared that the end was about to happen. He was in fact very specific in prophesying the imminent end of the world. There are many of these traditions which put together make that very clear. So Muhammad's title as the final messenger was not just some weird title.
Okay, he mentioned here, he didn't say this. Okay, I'm going to refute this part as well. He mentioned, he didn't say this hadith, he didn't pronounce it. He put it on the screen as we can see, but he didn't mention it. So again, this is another lie. The last hour will come before a young boy in his presence gets too old. Okay, so this is authentic hadith. Okay, and he's trying to hint out that there was a boy standing in front of the Prophet with a group of people, and the Prophet mentioned that the last hour will come before a young boy in his presence gets old. So he's claiming, this guy liar, this liar and this producer of this video, he mentioned that Judgment Day or the last day, Judgment Day, will happen before this young boy gets too old. Well, this is a misquotation again, as usual. We're not expecting any better from this guy. So here, the explanation of the hadith. The explanation here, what's meant is that before, and this one, let me go back here. Okay. So here it means that all people, the last hour means that last hour of the lives of the people present in front of the Prophet, all of them, they will die before this young boy gets too old. That is what it means. Doesn't mean the judgment, the last hour for the world. It means the last hour of those people presenting was standing in front of the Prophet. All their life will end, which means their last hour will end before this man gets old, before this young boy gets old. That's what it means. So the Prophet saying the last hour of those people attending in front of him will finish, will come before this young man get old. That's it. Doesn't mean the last hour of all mankind. No, the last hour of all people in front of him will come to an end before this young boy get old or get too old. That's it. Yeah, so again, as usual, lies.
Muhammad's title as the final messenger was not just some weird title. It served as the title of the final messenger who comes before the end. Insofar, Islam was very much a doomsday cult, which failed. But more to that in a dedicated video in which I will talk about this very topic. For now, let's be done with this. One more interesting detail to know, a bonus fact, is that drawing Muhammad is dangerous.
Now it's being ridiculous.
Some people might be forgetting that.
Yeah, he's now encouraging people to draw Prophet Muhammad. Okay, and he gets upset if we draw his mom as a hookah. in a brothel or a prostitute, he will be upset, very upset, right? If we draw him while he's getting baptized and getting lubed up by his priest, I will be very upset. If we draw his wife with few guys, maybe he'll be upset. I don't know. Maybe he like it. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, we don't know. Okay, but here is the situation. He's encouraging people to draw Prophet Muhammad, and he knows it's prohibited in Islam to draw that. Okay.
This, but people have been greatly endangered and had to go into hiding, and people were killed because they attempted to draw Muhammad.
Well, don't draw the Prophet Muhammad then. If you are fearing for your life, don't. We advise you or everybody else, don't. If you are fearing for your life, don't. In France, it's a crime to insult the head of state. Now, the laws in France prohibits to insult the French president or draw him in a derogatory way. So why do you want Islam to allow the drawing of the Prophet? Why? Yeah, it's a crime to insult any head of state and draw them in a derogatory manner. I'm sure if someone draw his wife as a hooker with big black guys, he will be upset. I said maybe he likes it. I don't know. Maybe he himself he like it to be with guys. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows about his sexual orientation? We don't know. We don't know. We're not making assumptions here. So because we don't know, we think we don't know, right? But whether he like it or not, if he dislike it, so if he dislike to be drawn himself or his wife in a bad manner, so why it's good, or why he's promoting that non-Muslims draw Prophet Muhammad? He's attacking Islam now. He's inciting hatred.
Because they drew Muhammad.
Yeah.
So yes, drawing Muhammad is indeed dangerous. Please don't try it at home. If you like this video, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share. If you don't like this video, you're free to not like this video. Nobody will come after you. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support me and you want to support these videos, then please consider
Now he's milking it. He's going to milk it. Yeah, he's going to milk it. All non-Muslims now, a lot of non-Muslims now is watching him out of hatred towards Islam. He's making money now. Yeah, business, right? He's making a lot. He's killing it. An algorithm of YouTube will promote the video like no tomorrow. 700,000 viewers, 709,000 viewers, listening to lies and supporting lies, supporting a guy who promotes shirk, polytheism, Orthodox Church. Yeah, that three God, Trinity. God sent himself as a prophet to die for our sins. He sent his son 2,000 years ago. What about this son? Where did this son exist before? Where was he? Where was this son 2,000 before 2,000 years ago? 100,000 centuries before that, or 100,000 centuries before. All the generation, all the centuries before Jesus before their God become God incarnate, God incarnate 2,000 years ago. All people before that, they never ever worshipped the sun. They never ever believed in a son as a mandatory for their salvation. All the followers of prophets before Jesus, they never ever preached that there is a son of God and you must believe in it in order for your sons to be forgiven. Christianity is a scam. This guy is a scammer. He's milking it now. He's now seeking big bucks. He's making, imagine the number of donation. Christians and atheists will shower him with money, and this guy will end up with big mansion in LA or California or somewhere. Yeah, he's looking at it from a business perspective because he's in America and, well, majority of people are Christians. So he, from a business perspective, he went from zero God, atheist, can't make money, okay, to be Christian. Well, now here is the donation, and May Allah guide him to Islam. Ameen, Ya Rab. Ameen. At the end of this video, brother, I would like to stop sharing here now and go back. And I would say, Jazakallah khair, brother Angel, for allowing me to explain the truth and expose the lies of this guy. And may Allah guide him to Islam. Ameen, Ya Rab. So he can stop his polytheism and shirk. And we invite all our audience to read the Quran with open-minded and check website called Miracles of Quran, and don't listen to lies, because you are trading your true salvation in Islam with lies from this guy. Okay, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Ameen, Ya Rab. Jazakallah khairan, brother. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you need any questions answered, please contact me via Islam Campus, www.islamcampus.com. Let me share here. Okay, let me share here quickly. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, yeah, it's here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes, islamcampus.com. Islamcampus.com. You can contact me. Okay, you can volunteer with me. Okay, you don't have to support us financially if you can't. You don't have to. Just make dua for us if you are Muslim. Okay, contact us if you have questions. And here list of refutations, and have here smart search keywords. Okay, keywords. All right, I'll stop sharing here and go back to Brother Angel. And also this channel, Brother Angel, make sure in the description of under every video you'll find his details. You can support his channel if you can. Make like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and share so you get notification. Subscribe to get the notification about every video we are producing. Like, share, because as you can see, unfortunately, the algorithm in YouTube is in favor of the falsehood, and they promote this. So with our channel, YouTube, unfortunately, sometimes they don't promote it like the other anti-Islamic channels. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us. Ameen, Ya Rab, and guide all to Islam. Ameen, Ya Rab. Jazakallah khairan, brother. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran, brother. I appreciate you. Like always, it's always good to have you on here. I got a lot of education out of this and stuff like that. And guys, it's free education.
Yes.
Just subscribe, ring that bell so you wouldn't miss a video. Smash that like button. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down.
Yeah,
If,
we're going to
if,
share with you the links, brother, to pin all the links with evidence, so
Yeah.
you pin them as well under the video. And over to you, brother.
All right. If you guys got any questions, put it in comment. And I'll get a hold of Mohamad Nassar, and he'll comment to you guys or whatever. All right,
Inshallah.
Shukran.